So welcome to this free video that I'm giving to you guys. I run a private community on School. It's absolutely free to join. And this is just one section of a muscle up video that I've recorded, a full guide course to break down everything you need to do on muscle ups. The craziest part about this is we're not even taking like 10 minutes of your day just to work on this. So you can go your completely regular gym routine and still just, if you follow this advice here, which I'm giving you for free, you'll still be able to achieve a muscle up alongside everything else that we're doing. And so, as you can tell, I'm pretty passionate about this. I've been doing muscle ups for a while. If you don't know, I got like 15 kgs on a weighted muscle up. I do like reps of like 10 kilo muscle ups. I can also do like reps of like 16, I think is my best, or 20 muscle ups, like in one set, in one go. And I even bulked to 87 kilos, and I did a bunch of muscle ups at that weight. And so I'm pretty qualified to talk on the topic. If you do want to get some coaching from me, I offer that as well. If you want to do that, just join the community. I'll probably send you the link as well. But if not, just enjoy the video. Welcome to the full guide on getting a muscle up. And I just want to hype this up just by saying, you just need one. You just need to get one muscle up. Once you get that one muscle up, everything unlocks. I can promise you that now. Every single thing, weight in muscle ups, multiple muscle ups, endurance ones, sets and reps and EMOMs are doing all this complicated stuff. You just need to unlock one, and then you could do the rest. And so if you get in the mindset, you just need the one, and it's not that hard. It's just that people get the prerequisites wrong. They get the technique wrong. Put those together, you're honestly like less than a week out from getting this whole thing. So I'm super excited just to show you this. And so we'll start with the prerequisites, because there's no point learning how to do a muscle up and just getting into that whole thing if you can't even get 10 pull-ups, right? 10 pull-ups. That's all I ask for. Once you could do 10 pull-ups, we work them to explosiveness, and then you can get your muscle up. And so this is what it looks like, and this is what progress looks like. So you start, and I'm assuming here you've never done a muscle up, you've never done a pull-up in your life. You need to go forward and unlock the achievement of getting one pull-up. Then you almost sort of reset your progress, because now that's the new baseline you have. So your motivation and your progress kind of looks like, well, not that, but it kind of looks like this in a way. And then you work towards getting 10 pull-ups, and you get to about here. Once you've got 10 pull-ups, you work your way to 10 explosive pull-ups. Once you get to 10 explosive pull-ups, that's when you know you can do a muscle up. This is where it begins. Unlock one, then you unlock 10 pull-ups. Then you unlock 10 explosive pull-ups. And then you go for the chicken wing muscle up, and boom. That's where you've just crushed the ceiling to get your first muscle up. And then you almost sort of reset the timeline again, because this time you want to get it proper. So you work towards your first muscle up, your first proper one without the chicken wing and stuff. Once you get the first chicken wing and muscle up in, you might even work towards getting one chicken leg one, the half-ass one. Then you might want to work towards getting maybe 5 chicken wing ones in a row. Maybe even 3. Once you can get multiple chicken wing muscle ups going on back to back, then you're ready to go for one clean muscle up, and that's with proper technique and everything. Once you get to this point, this is where the doors open for you. Because if you look at your progress bar, and like in terms of like the skills tree when it comes to muscle up, this is where you're at the start here. You've just unlocked your muscle up. You've been getting sort of progress, progress, progress. Boom, you just smashed the ceiling of it. Then you go back to, you'll get 5 or even 3. I'd even go for 3 chicken wing muscle ups. Then you go for your first clean muscle up. And when you get that first clean muscle up, this is where it gets crazy. This is where you get to choose. So you can go the route of doing even more muscle ups. Damn, I don't know what got to be then. But you could do like, aim for, once you get the first clean muscle up, go for 5 clean muscle ups. That's one branch here. You might even take that to 10 clean muscle ups. You might even go the weighted route and go, I might want to do 5 kg weighted muscle up, because that's just the logical next step here. Or you can make it this one where you do endurance ones. You could even go for endurance 5 kilos, 10 kilos, 20 kilos, and just expand that in the skills tree. Or you can go the other way and go, okay, now I want to do 5 clean muscle ups in a row. Now I want to get it to 10 clean muscle ups in a row. Now I want to get it to 10 clean in one go and do sets and reps for that. Or this, bear in mind, we're still at like the same level in terms of the gym. And so everything else in our life, our physique, our the way we look, where we're bulking or cutting, the rest of our workout routine, that looks exactly the same. And so this is where it gets interesting because in muscle ups, your weight matters so much more. I was 87 kilos, so over 190 pounds at one point, and I was doing sets and reps of muscle ups. And so I was only able to do that because I'd mastered doing multiple ones when I was 60 kilos, when I was 70 kilos, when I was 75 kilos, when I was 80 kilos. Then all I had to do was maintain the muscle up count, and make sure that I could do like 5 a day on command at any point. And as I was bulking, because I was doing it every single time in the workout, I was able to bulk to 85, 87, and still be able to do the muscle ups. And so that's what you might want to do. So it might be a case of once you've unlocked the muscle up, now that's your goal. And you might want to switch targets. You might want to go for a bulk. You might want to go for a cut. If you go for a cut, just assume that your muscle ups are going to explode. Maybe not the weighted part, but in terms of endurance, again, 10 muscle ups and stuff like that, 100% you'll fly off the shelf. But what I will say, if you are bulking, definitely maintain the level of muscle ups that you're at. And if you're mid bulk and you've decided to go for a muscle up or learn the skill of a muscle up, honestly, maintain for a week. If you're training 6 days a week, that gives you 6 opportunities to get the muscle up right. And if it doesn't, it takes 2 weeks, and that's fine. Because once you just put it on pause just for that little amount, which chances are you might even just be maintaining or barely gaining weight, you might just want to maintain it for a bit just to get the skill of muscle ups. Then once you've got that mastered, then you can keep going up and up and up and just resume the bulk. But this time you're maintaining. And instead of being like at your peak weight, now trying to do calisthenics, you was at a lower weight, the lowest weight you would have been in the foreseeable future, learning the muscle ups at what your lightest is. Then you mastered it, then you go into bulk, then you hit the muscle up. And so what I highly recommend, if you're just maintaining, or let's say you just want to get really good at the muscle up, or it's not really a priority or a focus, honestly, just cut or get to a lean point and then go for these like diamond sets that I call them. That's where you do 10 muscle ups in a row. Then you might want to do 10 dips, and then you might want to do 10 pull ups. And that will count towards one set. And then once you do that once, that might take you like 2 minutes to do. That might take, yeah, literally like 2 minutes to do. Once you do that, 2 minutes of your workout, then you move on to the rest of your stuff. And don't even worry about like hypertrophy, because you'll build all that stuff in the rest of your routine. But definitely do it at the start of the workout. And so that's how it goes. And then it's from doing these little skills trees and like leveling up these certain aspects, the endurance, the muscle ups, the EMOMs, the getting the like the diamond sets in and whatever. That's how you just keep progressing and just mogging people in the gym when it comes to the muscle ups. And that's the way it goes. So assuming that you're not even at this point where you haven't even got to the first muscle up, this was just to build a bit of hype so you know what's in store and you know how crazy this whole thing gets. And the craziest part about it all is once you unlock that, that takes an extra 5 minutes of working out. This getting to this stage might take an extra 5 minutes, and the difference between this and this is just like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes of extra working, and then you can go and do the rest of your workout. So it doesn't even eat into everything else that you're doing. And so this was just sort of to bring up the hype of what's possible out there to do whilst you're in your gym journey, to unlock the muscle up, to get it crazy and just get it popping from there. Now we're going to go into the prerequisites on what you need to do for the rest of this. See that? And so let me just erase this. Let me just erase this whole thing. So assuming you're not at getting that first chicken wing muscle up, I wouldn't even bother attempting it until you've gotten these prerequisites right, because there was a few small ones at the start, remember I told you. And so that's aim to get your first pull up. Once you get that, aim to get 10 pull-ups. I don't actually care how these 10 pull-ups work. Like, don't worry about going all the way to the bottom and all the way to the top. Just do what in your mind, when you do the set, you just count them as like normal ones, not like hyper specific, highly detailed. Just 10 normal pull-ups, where if a person was to look at you and point at you and say, yeah, that's 10 pull-ups, the average person would be happy with that. That's what we're talking about. We're not talking about hyper specific, detailed 10 perfect form pull-ups. No, we're just getting 10 normal ones out of the way. Then you want to, and if you haven't gotten to this stage, if you haven't gotten to the stage where you can do 10 normal pull-ups, honestly just spam it at the start of the workout. Just do like 10, and you might end up doing it in like five on the first go, wait 10 seconds, then you get two, wait 10 seconds, bang, 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 bang. Just do that. It kind of feels like a boxing session or like a different type of like zone 3 cardio towards this point, maybe even zone 4 here. Whereas here would have been like zone 2 to begin with. And so it gets progressively more intense. But this whole process, I mean, to do 10 pull ups, how long does it actually take you? Probably like 2 minutes to get this first one, and then like 5 minutes to get the rest of them in, and you're done in 7 minutes. And then you just go about the rest of your day, do your normal workout as usual. Once you've unlocked 10, then move on to the explosive ones. That's where you go and you activate like your fast twitch muscles. So it doesn't come overnight, but just try and get them as fast as possible. You might even do like one explosive pull up or like two explosive pull ups in a row where you're going, you know what I mean? And then build that up to 10. Once you could do 10 of those, and you don't need to go 100% of the way down, you only need like 85% of the way down just before your joints lock out, or even just at a point where it's low and you know it's low, but it's comfortable. Then you can go on to do the actual proper muscle up. And then, sort of, in the next one, we're going to go into technique. And so, if we look here, right, let me get this recording on my WhatsApp up. In terms of technique, this is all you need to pay attention to. And just like I said, don't bother learning the muscle up until you got the prerequisites. Don't do 10 explosive until you get 10 pull-ups. Don't do 10 pull-ups until you do one pull-up. In the same way, I want you to focus on the technique. We're going to go learn this in chronological order, because chances are you've just got certain things programmed in your brain that's just wrong, and we need to unlearn it. You might just be comfortable doing the wrong habit, not even knowing, because you've never actually put any thought into it. And so this is what we start from. Notice how I'm behind the bar. I'm not looking directly up, because it's not a pull up anymore, it's a muscle up. So we're not doing like static movement in one direction. We're actually doing this whole thing where we're arcing to get that first chicken leg up. And so I'll walk up to the bar, but I stop. Watch where I stop. It's not directly below the bar. In fact, it's 1.5, even 2 steps outwards. The reason I do that is, let's say the bar's here, and let's say I'm here. If I jump into that, well, physics will normally just take me the other way and you build momentum. And so take 2 steps back. A lot of guys, a lot of people, whenever I try and train them, I get them to take 2 steps back. And then without them even thinking, I just tell them, okay, jump into the bar. They'll almost take half a step forward and then jump. And I'm like, that kills the whole momentum. Just pay attention. The minute you take 1 step, 1.5 step back and stop, don't take another step to prep. Jump straight into it. Trust me, it changes everything. Look, and then I almost like arc my body to be like this in a way, where before, like, I walk up, I jump into it, I grab the bar, and as it's going like that, I push myself out. You see here now, it's almost like I'm doing a bench midair. How like my chest is pointing upwards, my whole body's like frosted. I've thrown it back. Pause. And I get to this stage here. Learn this part. Take 2 steps, jump into the bar, swing and push your chest outwards. Like you're really trying to get all the way up. Almost like the opposite way of doing a swing. How in a swing, you kick your legs forward, and then on the way back, you try and get your butt as high in the air as possible so that momentum carries you forward. We're doing that in the opposite way. So get to the bar, put your chest all the way out. That puts all your weight at the top so that the momentum and the weight can drive you to the other way. And as you're doing that, focus on just pushing yourself outwards in a sense. I'd even do a pull up where I just end up like the bar's here and I'll just end the pull up here. So I'm like that at the top. And so get this part first. Then you're going to kick your legs. In the swing analogy, as it was going forward, we kicked our legs up so that the leg drive would almost carry the wind in a way, and you sort of like get that swing from there. Well, if we're doing it the other way, when we're going backwards is where we need to go the furthest. And so you need to kick your legs as it's swinging backwards to propel yourself behind you, which you'll see here. It's that split second watch. You see that? I'm all the way back. And then I push myself the other way. Look at my legs. As I'm going back, I'm pushing myself off like that. And that's what get you the drive to go above. Look, notice how this entire part, I haven't even started getting above the bar. I've just kind of flown. Look at this point here before I started tucking myself in. I've flown to the height of the bar just through the momentum alone. It's at this point, once you've mastered sort of this thing, get that drilled into your head. And once you get jump on, swing, kick it out, get to that point, just master that. Just do like 10 reps of those if you can. Once you've done that, then you're 90% of the way there. And so all you need to do at this point is to chicken leg your arm over. You see that? And in terms of the chicken wing muscle up, because it's a lot easier, the way it's a lot easier, we basically cheat it. So we get one arm first, then the other. Put everything, like tilt your whole body, slam your chest into the bar, twist this arm, ignore this other arm. Just put everything you can into getting there and even take a break. Let the bar hit here and just rest there for a bit and come back down if you need to. And get used to just doing that, right? And it's from there you kind of realize you can take a break and adjust yourself because the bar's helping you hold on to your weight. It's not just you anymore. That's the point where you want to get this in. And once you're just laying on the top like that, it's just a dip. It's just a dip at the top. Get to the top here. You might want to chicken leg it. You might not. Depends on your experience. And then you dip at the top. And then you can be fancy. And here's another thing. A quick way to get your second muscle up in, because once you unlock that one muscle up, go for it again and go for two. Go back to back. Don't let yourself swing and hang for a bit and then try getting yourself up. No. As soon as you come down, kick your feet up, go back into it. You want to keep that going. Watch this. You see that? I just kept going back and forth. There's no lag time, or there's no delay, or there's no like, let me rest for a bit. I don't hang here at the bottom for a bit and then try it again. No, I go straight into it. You see that? Then you might want to just add some more dips. Dips never hurt. At the top, you might want to do a few more pull-ups. And then that's just me just fucking pissing about. That's just me just flexing on everyone. And that's it for the technique. One thing I do need to say is warm up. I know we tend to skip warming up, but 100% warm up for this. You cannot not do it because think about how much hyperextension or how much we're extending or putting our shoulders on our joints under stress. You need to warm up. The point at which you warm up and you know that you've done enough warming up is literally that when you move your shoulders, we all have like a little click or a little point where the tendons slide above the joint. If you do it slower enough and get enough blood flow there, that clicking actually stops, or it stops 90% of the time for you to know that like it's lubricated in a sense. And I'm not going to give you an actual warm up routine to do because that doesn't achieve anything. I'm not going to give you no bullshit protocol, do this, do that. What I will say is just listen to your body. It's a dynamic movement, so do dynamic stretching like this. Even go up and down if you need. And just do that a ton. That's like, do that intuitively. You'll get to a point where you know, like, okay, my joints have loosened up, my muscles know it's time to work. Do a bit of the wrist. Get like, think of the body parts that you're gonna be putting your body under, and just warm up those parts. There's no routine. There's no set time. Just listen to your body. Think of the muscles that I'm going to use the most. I want to warm them up. And so shoulders, you might want to do this. You might want to do slowly first, kind of like yoga, just to build that rush and make sure that like there's no clicking on the whole way up. See that? And then you might want to do some fast ones. You might want to even do your bicep a little here, stretch yourself out a bit, and just listen to yourself. I'd also do the neck as well and get that to a point where it's not clicking nearly as much. And that's what you need to do for your warm up. At that point, look, my body's ready to fire. And so I know I'm ready for the muscle up and I just go straight into it. You might even be panting a little bit from all the warming up, and I get that. And that's a good sign, if anything, because you don't want to be resting when you're going into this. You kind of want to be in like that athletic mode, that gym mode. You know what I mean? And so here's the daily protocol then to actually achieve your first muscle up. Let me just move this upwards because we don't want to be spending hours a day. Like, it's not a full session or full routine that we want to spend an entire day in the gym, because chances are it's not that big of a priority for you. Let's be so honest, it's just a little side bonus and a little bonus that we can add just to look good and just flex on people, right? And so here's what you do. You have, imagine this is the time you enter the gym, and it could be like 7 p.m. or whatever, right? Who cares? The time actually doesn't matter. But when you step into the gym, it's this time. But let's say like on your Google Calendar, this will be like all the time that you spend in the gym. This is you. You do your compound sets, then your accessories, and then if you can be bothered, you do your abs, but you probably skip it, and then there, and then you leave the gym, right? That's just like the time blocks. We want to just spend the first 10%, the first 20%, the first 20 minutes. I'd even go as to say like 10 minutes for the muscle up. And then everything else is gym. So if the gym takes you like, let's say 90 minutes to do the full session, you're just adding 10 minutes. So the total work time becomes 100 minutes, 1 hour and 40. That is horrible. 1 hour and 40 minutes doing it. So we're just adding 10 minutes more, 15 minutes more, 20 minutes more. That's like if you're really getting into it and you're like, okay, sack the gym. I just want to do this. That's where you want to spend it. So do your warm up. I'm so horrible at texting on there. I'm so horrible at writing on here, but spend 5 to 10 minutes or as long as you need. Even spend 2 minutes if you need to. You know what I mean? Doing the warm up, spend 10 minutes doing the muscle up based on the prerequisite, what the bottleneck is. And then once you've done that, just accept that that's like do one attempt at it, three attempts at it. You don't need like, there's very high diminishing returns after like when your energy's tanked. Don't even worry about weightlifting or anything. In terms of like if you've gone really hard in your muscle up session, just maintain the gym. I know we like to progressively overload, but chances are you're so tired after doing this, so just maintain or try your best to maintain the gym as much as possible. I found that you can, even with like incline dumbbells. I usually do like 44 kilos on incline dumbbells. After muscle ups, I can only do 42 kgs for like 6 reps, and I'll be like my biggest set of the day. That's fine. That's fine because the minute we mastered the muscle up or we get it to a point where like we can maintain it, we could just do like one muscle up or like one set of muscle ups and then move immediately onto it and you'll be way less fatigued. So it's only a thing that you're really putting on pause for 2 weeks just to learn the muscle up. Spend the first 10% of the workout doing the muscle ups, and once you're done, completely forget about it. Move on to the rest of your gym as possible, but definitely warm up because that is so essential to make sure you don't get injured. I got injured and I was out for like 2 months just from like all the hyperextensions, and it could have been avoided had I just warmed up the way a normal person would. Like, if you're not a person who does calisthenics, you're not an athletic person. Let's be real. If you're just doing weightlifting, you're not really an athlete. Let's be so real with ourselves now. Unless you're taking it extremes, but chances are you're not, and you're just like an average gym goer who's been obsessed with the gym for the last 2 to 3 years, and that makes sense. So you want to warm up and you want your body to feel kind of like a boxer would at the start of his sessions, where he's just loosened his joints and he's ready to just fire away. That's the sort of like energy state you want to be in before you attempt your muscle up. So do your warm ups, get to a point where you get to like that stage, then move on with the rest of your gym workouts. But 100% get those warm ups in for your shoulders. Takes you like 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes at best. Then move on to your muscle ups. If you've, and just run this every single day, just every single time you're at the gym. Maybe you go 3 times a week, maybe you go 6 times a week. It's the same gym workout, but you're just adding this little 10-minute block on top, and that's all you need. If you've really hyperextended yourself and you've gone really at it, you've got DOMs, just take a rest day because even if you haven't done the pull day, like the next day's pull day, but you worked on your pull-ups the day before, like, and you're like, you got so much DOMs because you're not used to calisthenics, you've basically just done like a good pull day on your push day, and you've hit both, like two birds with one stone. So just take that day off and have that break. Like, allow yourself, like, you're at the stage now where you can listen to your body and be like, if you've got DOMs, take the day off. You don't need to be so disciplined, because the harder thing for you is to stay out of the gym than in the gym. So you got to recognize that muscle ups train your entire upper body, your chest, your shoulders, your lats, your biceps, everything's getting tested. And so we don't want to think of muscle ups in terms of weightlifting and like you can only do it on pull days. That you'll stall out and you'll be useless. You can't do it only on push days. And I wouldn't advise you to even change your workouts. For this 10-20 minutes, be completely disrespectful to the idea of hypertrophy, to the idea of bulking, to the idea of um, progressively overloading, to the idea of, well, you want to be progressively older, but in terms of like doing your body in a certain order, doing push, then pull, or chest and back, and then thinking, oh, but the muscle ups are going to get my shoulders in, and that's safe for an arm day. Completely disrespect the concept of it. And then when it comes to the gym, just do the gym as normal. But if that part of your workout sore, because it could be a chance where you could do this on a pull day, do the rest of your back and biceps, but then the next day it's push, or the next day it's arms, and your shoulders are sore, and your upper chest is so sore, you basically just hit it. So take a rest day on it. And so be completely disrespectful to bodybuilding when you're in this calisthenics mode. Because once you've got it, like once you've unlocked muscle ups, I do sets and reps of muscle ups, like 10, 15 muscle ups a day, 20 dips, 10 pull ups in that little 10-minute bracket I've got. And then I move on to bodybuilding. And my bodybuilding is the same thing, because I no longer get DOMs or anything crazy. And obviously, when you're developing, it's going to be like that. So just be aware of it and accept it. You'll get to a point. You'll get to a point where you don't need to worry about it anymore, and then you'll be fine with it. But until then, just work on the bottleneck, on what the prerequisites are, and what you need to do. Then work for your technique, make sure that's good. Get your chicken wing up, then start repping it out, and then move on to the rest of your day. I'm over here. I'm over here. If you want to look at this little bubble here, I know it's getting like very inception-y, but thank you so much for watching that entire video. I hope this was like 4 years of work just put into this thing. So thank you so much for sticking to the end. As a little bonus for you guys, this is just a free section of an entire course that I built for this. If you do want to have your stuff so personalized and put so much detail, I'll literally take you as like A1 study for this entire course that I'm building. If you do like that and you want to get into it, maybe even potentially talking about one-to-one coaching as to other things to help guys lock in as well. So I think it's great. If you loved this video, I think you really love the whole course. And so thank you so much for sticking to the end. As a little bonus, if you do want more aspects or individual like mini sections personalized for you, I'll be down to do that as well. Send me a text, let me know. And yeah, thank you so much for taking a little insight into this whole thing. Yeah, enjoy yourselves and good luck on the muscle ups.